Stelly and the Sticky Gooey Taffy.
One day, the Pelican family was flying over the Sticky Gooey Taffy shop when Stelly spotted something. "What's that pink stuff?" she asked. "You'd better leave it alone, Stelly," said Delly. "It's really sticky," said Ellie. "I stepped on some last summer and got my foot stuck to the hot sidewalk." "I remember," said Nellie. "I was helping you, and I got some stuck in my feathers." "I'm going down to check it out," said Stelly. "Uh-oh," said Zelly. Stelly looked at the taffy for a minute, then scooped it up. It was so pleasantly sweet that she held it in her bill for a long, long time to enjoy the flavor. So long, in fact, that it started to get really soft and began to stretch into a sticky, gooey string that trailed behind her as she flew off. Trailed behind so far that it caught hold of the sports page of Grandpa Gustav's newspaper and pulled it right out of his hands, just as he was reading the article about the bocce tournament which his team had won. Trailed behind so far, in fact, that it caught and pulled out the one beautiful bright orange feather of Loud, proud Begonia bird in the banana tree, just as Begonia was about to get her picture taken by the bird-watching club. Squawk! Trailed behind so far that it wrapped around twirling Tammy Tootle, who then dropped down and rolled in the leaves on her lawn, causing her mother to spend the afternoon washing leaves and taffy out of Tammy's clothes and hair. And trailed behind so far that globs of it broke off and landed on the signs at the intersection, changing the word stop to stob, which left the motorists quite unsure about what they should do. That was the first time Stelly tasted taffy. She didn't find any more for quite some time. Quite enough time that Grandpa Gustav, Begonia, who grew a new blue feather, Tammy and her mother, and the motorist forgot all about how annoyed they were with Stelly and her messy taffy. Then Stelly found another piece, and this time the wind was blowing, and a piece broke off and blew right into Chef Chauncey's special deep red tomato soup, splashing it all over and giving it a special taste indeed. And a big piece broke off and stuck Tommy's fingers to the keys of his trumpet, making him play the same out-of-tune high notes for an unbearable amount of time. And most significantly, a piece blew off and landed right on Mayor Mundy's face, giving her a mustache, which no one noticed until the picture taken at that precise moment by the Gazette's photographer showed up on the front page the next day. Mayor Mundy called a meeting. "Stelly's taffy eating must stop," she said. "It is causing way too much trouble." "Stelly's taffy eating must stop," said Dr. Healthybird, the Pelican family's doctor. "Pelicans don't eat candy. It isn't good for them. They eat fish." Grandpa Pelican listened, flew to where Stelly was sitting, and said, "No more taffy." Stelly listened too and didn't even think about picking up the taffy the next time she saw it on the walk, even though it did look especially yummy. Ignoring the taffy wasn't too hard right then, because she was so interested in watching everyone hurry and scurry around, getting ready for the coming holiday celebration. Then Mayor Mundy, rushing to get to the storeroom where the decorations were kept, didn't even notice that one key flew off of the key ring and landed in a clump of grass near the palm tree. When she got to the storeroom, she tried all of the keys. None of them fit. "Oh no," thought Mayor Mundy. "What am I going to do?" The decorating committee was waiting for her to bring the decorations to Seagull Walk. The news photographer would be out that very day at 3 o'clock sharp to take pictures of the finished work, and she had no idea where the key to the storeroom was. Oh no, oh no! Cat looked at the key, half hidden in the clump of grass. Then he looked at Stelly, who was gazing longingly at a piece of taffy on the walk. Cat walked over and whispered something to Stelly. Stelly listened. Then she flew over to Grandpa Pelican and whispered something into his ear. He nodded his head yes. Stelly flew back, picked up the taffy on the walk, and let it get soft and stringy in her bill. Then she let a string of taffy drop down into the grass where it stuck to the key, which she pulled up just as Mayor Mundy walked by. "Oh, Stelly, thank you, exclaimed Mayor Mundy as she took the key. Then she quickly ran back to the storeroom to get the decorations. When the decorations were all in place and the Gazette had taken a picture for the newspaper, Mayor Mundy thought about how Stelly had helped by picking up the key with her taffy. She decided to call another meeting. Maybe, she said, Stelly could have taffy once in a while if she promised to be careful with it. Chef Chauncey spoke up. He thought that was a great idea, as his special soup with taffy was a big hit at his restaurant, and he wanted to thank Stelly for introducing him to this new ingredient. Mrs. Sticky and her brother George Gooey agreed. The Sticky Gooey candy shop has more customers than ever, they said, because everyone wants to try the taffy that Stelly likes so much. And Grandpa Gustav told everyone about how much he'd laughed when he saw Mayor Mundy on the front page of the Gazette with a taffy mustache. Well, it might be all right, said Dr. Healthybird, if Stelly remembers to eat good, healthy fish every day. Stelly looked at Grandpa. What did he think? Grandpa said it would be okay if Stelly would apologize for all the trouble she caused and would be especially careful about where she ate taffy so it wouldn't cause any more trouble. Stelly agreed. After all, she felt bad about what had happened, and she really did like fish, even though taffy was yummy. Mrs. Sticky took a piece of taffy out of her pocket, unwrapped it, and gave it to Stelly. Stelly took it happily, then flew off to join some of the other pelicans, flying over the ocean, flying over the sea. Look, said a little boy, pointing up at the flying pelicans. What does that striped pelican have in its bill? It must be a fish, said his dad. That's what pelicans eat. Stelly just smiled, enjoying the delicious sweet taste of the sticky, gooey taffy. And what's more, Stelly found that fish liked taffy too.